Welcome to the Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Do you want to step up your game? Pursue your dreams. Be the best version of yourself. The Reinvented Life is here to help. The Reinvented Life is about courage. It's about staying relevant. It takes grit. It defies gravity. It's about taking inventory of where you are today and where you want to go. Embrace change. Make things possible and reinvent your life. Call in with questions at 888-994-4995. Now, it's time to reinvent your life with Pamela Chanel.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to the Reinvented Life. And we are going to jump right into our show today because today we have on our show someone that has reinvented and reinvented and reinvented his life. Not only that, he has so many successes in life. But the thing I love most about this guest, Jay King, is not only is he a Grammy Award winner, he's a radio host. He's president of the California Black Chamber. And these are just a few things that he has accomplished in life. But what I love about him most, and I can't wait to bring him on here today, is that Jay never settles. And no matter what education I have and no matter what degrees I've had and anything else, I will tell you that it is this human being, my friend Jay King, who is really responsible for teaching me about reinventing, about never settling. I cannot say enough about him because he never sits on his laurels. He always ups his game and has shared more insight with me than almost anyone else I know. So with that, I want to bring Jay King on here and get right into this wonderful discussion about reinventing. Jay, welcome to the Reinvented Life.
Thank you for having me. I remember it when it was a book.
Yeah. It's been wild that's taken place. And, you know, I sincerely believe that you are one of the most inspirational people in my life. And as I say, no matter what achievements I have had, it is your teachings, it is your ability to share not only about one aspect of life, but about so many. And it keeps me upping my game and upping my game for the clients that I serve. So again, welcoming you and just wanting to begin with that. You know, one of the things that I admire amongst so many things about you is this idea that you don't stay conditioned to one thought and that you always are pushing that envelope to look at every aspect of things. So I really want to start with that and just have you help the listeners and the viewers to understand how you do that.
Wow. First of all, those very kind words. I really believe in God more so than man. Uh, Man is a very interesting creature. Uh, Man only is comfortable with what looks and feels like him. And when things are opposite of him in some way, form, or fashion, man um, will ostracize and sometimes harm what doesn't feel like him. And and God isn't that. God loves everything. Everything gets the opportunity to be alive. and I've divorced myself from the ideas that man has put in front of me. You know, we have race as a construct, race and color as a construct in the world we live in. So I divorced myself from that construct a long time ago, which means I've divorced myself from the world in that aspect. Um, I am I'm big on humanity and human beings being human and mankind being kind to man. I'm really big on that. So um, my friends are different, different nationalities, different genders, different colors, different thought processes, because the world is different. The world is everything combined, and that's the interesting thing about the world and culture and being alive. You know, there's only 8,760 hours in a year. If you take 8 hours to sleep and 8 hours to work, you have 2,920 hours to live every year. And a lot of people waste a lot of hours not being alive, not enjoying this ride. You know, I'm 61. So half of my hours are gone already this year. I turned 61 January 27th. So I'm on the second half of those hours. So I really, if I feel like I'm not living, I make it up in the next day or the next week or the next month, because I only get to be 61 for 8,760 hours.
It's an amazing way to think about it. And that's what every single time I hear you speak and listen to you, there's always a new construct which what you come from. And I absolutely love it. You know how much it energizes me. And I want to take a step back because you have one of the most interesting careers
Hmm.
of anyone I know. And I want to take a look at, and I think what people need to hear is you are a Grammy Award winner for
Hmm.
one of my favorite songs ever. And here we are, if you fast forward from when you won that award 30 years ago, you are still on tour, you are still with Club Nouveau, entertaining people, inspiring people to this day. And I think the foundation of that is fascinating for people to realize that you just didn't stop. You're still creating music, you're exploring
Yeah.
genres. And I'd love you to talk about this concept of not stopping because it's so inspiring for people that get stuck. So many people today that I talk to every day feel stuck in what they're doing, stuck in how they're living. And to
Yeah.
come this far and still have that excitement level, I think it's fantastic.
I'm a gold digger. GOAL. Gold.
I love
I dig for goals. I always want to. I have a lot of interests, and I'm still a kid inside where I still, there's things I want to do. I wanted to do radio, so the internet said you could do internet radio, and that's really how I started on the radio, doing a show on Blog Talk Radio, and then coming to 97.5 KDEE, a FM station, and then learning how to operate a board and do terrestrial radio, and then going to KFBK 93.1 and having two shows and still doing the blog. It was just, once you start, once you become alive, every day you just want to live. And the obstacle is you. That's the only obstacle that you have to deal with. How much are you going to doubt you? Or how much are you going to believe in you? And if you doubt you, how can you ever become great at anything when when you kill any growth, any idea that's great that can happen for you, you doubt it. So everything around you, everybody around you is going to doubt it. But if you believe in it, and then if you really believe in it, then you're going to do the things that make that belief accessible because you actually believe in it. You believe in the path. It's the same with you. I remember when you started writing the Reinvented Life, the book, you believed in that. But before you did that, you were Javita, and before you did that, you were something else. You continuously, and that's what the greatest journey of life is you exploring every bit of who you are. And I think that's where most people get lost. They're afraid of themselves, or they don't even know who they are. So when you start digging for goals, that's when you discover who you are. So I always tell people I'm a gold digger. I dig for goals. GOAL. Gold. Digging for them.
I love it. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about music. No one that I've met in my life has more knowledge of the music industry. And that has obviously had a huge effect on your life.
Yeah.
You're like, date myself here. I'm going to say the word encyclopedia, and half the people listen to the show don't even know it, but you are a musical encyclopedia. And I know the profound effect that has had. But I'd love you to share from your perspective what over the decades, how that's affected you.
Well, the interesting thing about music is that people only see it from a performance perspective or recording perspective. They don't understand, or they don't realize that there's a manufacturing and distribution, marketing, promotion, advertising, business component that goes with this. And because there's other ancillary markets that are ancillary to the music business, but that uh, become a whole other financial stream for you. So you have to learn how to deal with people, you have to learn how to build relationships, you have to learn financing and marketing, so there's a lot of transferable skills. So a lot of what I've learned in the music business, I've been able to transfer to other aspects of my life, even to the chamber, because the chamber deals with small businesses, and a lot of independent label guys were small businesses, whether they knew it or not. They had to manufacture their own product, they had to record it, they had to uh, mix it, they had to package it. The plastic that goes that's over a CD or a vinyl, because vinyl's coming back now. That plastic costs a penny, but you can negotiate that down to a quarter of a penny or a half a penny. That sticker that says, includes the hits. That sticker is 2 to 3 cents. Based on how you negotiate, you can negotiate that down to a half a penny or a quarter of a penny. And if you know how to negotiate, instead of paying $1.45 for a CD fully packaged, you might be able to get it down to 85 cents or 90 cents. Or if you have other guys that are going to manufacture, you guys can come in together and combine those units and get it down to 75 cents. So just learning how to negotiate, learning what pack, um, learning who to master with, learning the process of mastering, who to record with, the process of recording. And then, because the music business is a penny business, and people don't realize that a song is worth 9.1 cents to a songwriter and publisher. Every download, CD, vinyl, cassette sold, the federal government sets the rate. So 9.55 cents is what a songwriter and publisher get to split. So just learning all the aspects of the music business was it's enlightening, it's exciting, especially when you learn, um, and all those things are transferable skills to other areas of your life. And so I've been able to transfer cross back and forth uh, from one place to the next to elevate um, my my life and my career.
Wow. And relationships. I know we have spent so much time over the years talking about relationships and what you've built in
Hmm.
this business and the industry. And I know so much with all of the technology changes that has taken place has shifted, but the basics are there of like anything in life, who you're aligned with, who you're collaborating with,
Right.
who you're learning from. And I'd love people to hear a little insight from you on that.
Well, relationships are everything. You never know who you meet at this level that's going to go to this level, and how you treated him at this level is going to have a profound effect on how he treats you at this when he's at this level. And so, a lot of what's happened for me is that I maintain great relationships. I didn't maintain a relationship with somebody based on who they were or who I thought they might be. Um, Based on you on a human being human, being kind to somebody, because I would hope that if I was the person who was a subordinate, that somebody would be kind to me, or who wasn't, who was just starting out. Um, and it's not just for me, it's for the industry that I represent as well. There has to be a respect for the industry, an appreciation for the industry that you're in, because it's been good to you. Music business was very good to me, is very good to me even today. As you say, I continue to tour, but we still sell records and downloads. We have a new single coming out. My music is used in movies and television shows and commercials. So music continues to be good to me because it's a residual income that I don't have to work for, that is pretty consistent across the board, and it's why catalogs are selling for so much money.
And that catalog, is interesting because even in today's world of technology, it still goes back to this music that you have and you continue to produce is so reflective of who you are. And that's what I find so inspiring. And I know what people find so inspiring is as time change happens, so does your music. I'm so fascinated by where you've been in the original with Club Nouveau and where you are today with Bossa Nova. I mean, it's
Huh.
it's such an interesting um, growth to me.
Well, because when I started at Club Nouveau, I was 23. Now I'm 60. So um, I could only imagine what it would look like if I was 60 dressing like I was 23. So music, it's the same way. You mature. Hopefully, if you are working at it, you continue to delve into different sounds and styles and genres. And I love bossa nova music. It's just my favorite music. George Gilberto and uh, um, Carlos Jobim are two of my favorites. But I also like Jovan and Babel Gilberto. And anytime I can hear bossa nova songs, especially when I can explore new. I love it. As did Stan Getz when he did "The Girl from Ipanema," which was the first jazz album to win a Grammy Record of the Year. The first time one of those records won that kind of award. I think it was 1961 or 62. Just exploring the music and and the depth of it, and the breadth of it, and then being able to create inside that space. I can't wait. I'm working on a new one now, so I'm excited about it.
I can't wait as well. Well, you certainly have such a huge array of arenas that you play in, and whether it's music, shows up on the board there. You've had a profound effect on the California Black Chamber of Commerce, which some people watching this and hearing this don't realize actually owns that community radio station. And I think that's very
Ninety-seven
unique.
point five FM. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I think that's such a wonderful way to still stay connected with the community.
Yeah. Yeah. I this is the first time that Sacramento has had black radio that's consistent in the history of Sacramento.
Wow.
And so we're proud of it. The president, being the president of the California Black Chamber, is a heavy lift. It's a tough task. 96% of African American small businesses are sole proprietors that generate less than $100,000 across the country, not just in the state of California, across the country. Only 4% of African American businesses have one employee or more and generate $100,000 or more. And those are the numbers I want to change. And, but it requires some new thinking as a chamber organization. It requires a real push to the small business. We know what kind of systemic racism, bigotries, prejudices, and biases that have existed in this country in the past, and that we still have remnants of it here today. But we also know that there is more opportunity in this country than anywhere else in the world. This is the fourth largest economy in the world for a reason. And when I say this, it's the fourth largest economy. I'm talking about California. Of course, the United States is the number one economy in the world. So just imagine the state that you live in is number four. The country that you live in is number one. So your state is competing with the whole country. That's how big the state is. It's the most populous state with 40 million plus people. And my job is to change the thought process of a community that has been, for lack of a better word, beaten down to the core, and to build it back up, and so it can believe in itself again, especially the business community.
Yeah, and I think that task is so huge. But again, what I respect about you so much, and I see you do, is you take it step by step. There's a realization that you can't change a history overnight, but
Right.
you can take steps and you can infiltrate the community in such a way that you're doing good for it and that you're helping the whole community in its entirety sort of reevaluate what are those conditions thoughts that have been there for so long.
And they exist in every community. So it exists with black folk, it exists with white folk, it exists with Asian and Hispanic, it native and immigrant, you know, um, and the tough part is getting uncomfortable. Very few people wake up in the morning and say, let me see how uncomfortable I can get. But that's what you have to do. I think,
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning to explore life. And in that exploration, it's going to be some uncomfortable times. And I believe those are the things that have allowed me to be successful, to grow, to develop, to win, to understand, to be patient, because I'm not just looking at it from the small lens that I'm comfortable with. I'm looking at it from the whole big old aspect of, of what this whole life ride is about. I don't know if you've seen it, Alabama, where It was a black guy who's a captain of a co-captain of a ship. He's getting the ship to dock, and there's a white family, and that he's asking them to move. They have a verbal confrontation, and then they jump on the black guy, and then black people come to help him, and then white people come to help them, and it comes into this big old thing. And so, naturally, people thought of it from a racial standpoint. And I just said, "Wow, that is interesting." That and not just black people, all everybody thought about it from that standpoint. And my first mind was, you know, this guy got into it with one of these co-captains, and this finally escalated. And it just so happens that at this particular time, this dude just happened to be black, and this guy happened to be white, and now we have this racial conversation taking place, as opposed to saying that guy in the boat was a butt who should have moved, because once you start peeling back the onion, you find out that there was also a 16-year-old white kid um, who was hit by this white family. They beat up on him too, because it wasn't about what color the guy was. It was about them being butts, being parked in the
Yeah.
wrong place. But we racialize everything because that's the conditioning. And and I'm just glad that I don't marry myself to the conditioned world, because this world that we show each other every day.
That's so true. There's just so much conditioning, and it's never going to go away. We just have to look at it as hopefully people taking this attitude of being more fluid than being more like a rock, and continuing to express that fluidity so that they can take in new thoughts. I know we have to wrap up here, but is there one thing you would love, and on your show and on your daily show and on the radio and all of it, is there one thing you'd love people, when you think about change, to know? Like what you have found has been successful for you. Would you love one thing to share as we wrap this up?
Um, Use a big mind. Don't it's easy for us to operate on the mind that we use every day, but open up your big mind and just breathe first before you even do anything. I'm always trying to be in my big mind, uh, because, like I said, and then we have to be honest enough to get eyeball to eyeball with ourselves, and start fixing on us. I tell people all the time, it's hard for me to talk about you when I'm still fixing on me. And I think if we get to the point to where, you know what, I'm just gonna fix on me. And then when you start finding those broken thoughts, where where you go to your comfort space, stop yourself in your tracks and go back to your big mind and look at it from every angle. I look at life from every angle imaginable, so that I can have a better understanding of what I'm going to be better at tomorrow.
Wow. Thank you so much. That is such wisdom, and just that thought about continually challenging yourself to think about things in a bigger way. I know you do that for me every day. I'm so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for your wisdom, and I'm most grateful for your friendship. I mean, we are family, and
Yes, we
it
are.
is because there is an openness, such an openness.
Now, don't we have lunch or something coming up?
Yes, we do. And we will do that.
Good.
So
Yeah.
thank you again. Thank you to the listeners. Thank you to the viewers. This is just a peek into an individual that represents change, represents reinvention, and represents never settling and always growing. That's what this show is all about. That's what I hope your life is all about. Is never settling, always growing. and continuing on your reinvented journey. With that, I can't wait to see you and visit with you. I can be reached at info@thereinventedlife.com if anyone ever has any questions. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week till we see you again.
Thank you for tuning in to The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Tune in each week so we can work and grow together to become the best version of ourselves. Keep striving, keep dreaming, keep working, and embrace change. You may contact Pamela Chanel at info@thereinventedlife.com.